you can find out a lot about a person's health from the eyes. You can actually detect things like heart disease, high cholesterol, diabetes.
I know a lot of women, but I don't know a single relaxed woman.
I think over 35 women think that their bodies are breaking down. But actually, it's not breaking down, it's just recalibrating.
Yeah.
A woman can feel stronger and fitter at 40 than at 20.
So your body is actually always sending you signals
Yes.
like, it wants ice cream, I shall give it ice cream.
We weren't taught what is the right food to eat in med school. We were taught how to treat diseases.
Yes.
But nobody really looked back and say what is causing all these different diseases.
Hi, I am Jingjin.
And I'm Uma. You are watching Founding Voices, Conversations that Power the Elevate Group, a special podcast series featuring the incredible women who helped bring this community to life.
And each founding member brings a bold voice, a powerful story, and a perspective we all need to hear.
These aren't just interviews, they are raw, real conversations about what matters to most of them.
From health to leadership to legacy, we go deep. And we promise you will walk away with insight, inspiration, and something worth sharing.
Let's dive in.
Claudine,
Yes.
you are one of the most reputable eye surgeon in Singapore. What moment or realization first made you really care about a topic that is called longevity?
Yeah, so as an eye surgeon, I look into people's eyes. And actually, you can find out a lot about a person's health from the eyes. Or you can actually detect things like heart disease, high cholesterol, diabetes.
What?
Yeah, even autoimmune diseases. So I see all these syndromes in my patients' eyes, and I want to help them solve that. So a lot of the time, if they have diabetes, they come to me with diabetic retinopathy, and that leads to like bleeding in the eye, and it can lead to blindness. So I would treat that. And then I will refer them back to their diabetic doctor to get it treated. Yeah. And then I see people with high cholesterol, and then it turns up as maybe drusen in the eye. And then again, I refer them to their cardiologist perhaps to get it treated. Yeah. So in Western medicine, if you think about it, the doctors were all taught about diseases. So we are all out there to treat a particular disease.
Yes.
But nobody really look back and say what is causing all these different diseases. You know, they are not all isolated diseases, but they all come back to a root cause. So I wanted to be able to treat that. So now what I do is when I see my patients, I would do like blood tests for them to find out what foods they are sensitive to that causes inflammation in the gut. And then try to eliminate some of those foods so that they have lower inflammation in their bodies. Yeah, and then I'll check their gut microbiome so we can know how to tailor certain probiotics for them. And in that way, we are treating more the root cause. And we're trying to prevent these chronic diseases before they even form like many years later. Yeah.
I assume when you decided to become a eye surgeon,
Yes.
and you probably didn't make the link with longevity, and then so there was a turning point, probably personally or professionally, that made you care so much and made it so holistically TCM, like a TCM, I feel.
Which is traditional Chinese medicine.
Yeah.
For those who don't know that
Yes,
term.
true.
Yeah. Well, it was more like as I was seeing patients in private practice. Yeah. And during that time, I was getting more frustrated because I'm seeing patients who are younger and younger. And so I wanted to learn more myself. So I went ahead and did more qualifications and more studying. So I studied lifestyle medicine and functional medicine and anti-aging and regenerative medicine, both from US and Australia.
Wow.
So in studying all of that, I assimilated all the information and put together what I thought, because I was like, why is nobody in this world doing this? Why is no one talking about it, about supplementation? We weren't taught this in med school. We weren't taught about what is the right food to eat, and that food is medicine actually.
Yes.
Yes, we were not taught this, unfortunately. We were taught very much how to treat diseases.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now it's more about these diseases are 20 years in the making. So we have to backtrack and we have to think like we have to start from young, even in our 20s or even as children, how to develop the right lifestyle and habits so that we can prevent these long-term chronic diseases. And a lot of the things that we thought were normal, like eating processed food or breakfast cereal or orange juice, are the things that we don't really advocate nowadays because we know that it's too much high in sugar and things like that. But the education is not out there. Yeah. It's this awareness that people don't have. If I can do longevity and it's this education and awareness, I can help a whole lot more people at one time. So I decided to take on this.
So what's the term you call yourself when you do all of that?
Yeah, so because I studied a lot in functional medicine and lifestyle medicine, and all that leads to longevity medicine, that's why I call myself a longevity specialist.
Ah, okay. And is there many of you?
No, there's one of me. I guess it's not common for someone in the ophthalmology field or even in any field to later branch out to do other kinds of medicine, to think about functional medicine and lifestyle medicine and longevity. So yes, it's not common.
Yeah. I mean, I would always get frustrated when I go to a GP and something is off and then they try and treat that one thing. And then he'll send me to my nutritionist. And then, you know, I'd go to the gym and then something else would happen. And then she would send me to a chiropractor, right? To say like, this guy's good.
Yeah.
And then you wish like all of them would be like, can you all just get on a conference call and talk to each other?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like I want to treat my patients more holistically so that everything can be done in one center. So that's why I created the Asia Longevity, which is one center in which you can find all of these optimizations. So there's me, and then I will deal with the lifestyle medicine and functional medicine point of view. And then we have in-house dietitian who will look at the nutrition. And then we have in-house exercise physiologists who would take care of the fitness aspect of it. Yeah, and so it's very holistic in that sense. And we're looking more into the root cause of diseases to prevent them before they even turn up.
So, top tips for anyone out there, regardless of gender.
Yeah, that's right. So that's very interesting that you say that, because when we think of the biomarker that is most closely linked with longevity is actually VO2 max. Yeah. So you know VO2 max is the amount of oxygen that your body can use when you exercise. So it's a direct correlation of your cardiorespiratory fitness. Yeah. That's why we look backwards. So if you know your VO2 max now, then you can project that in how many years' time you will still be able to climb up the stairs. Yeah. So there are nomograms and graphs which show this very clearly. So you need to have an aim for your VO2 max now in order to be able to walk or climb upstairs when you are 75.
And can you increase your VO2 max?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. So we have proper methods to increase the VO2 max. And by that, we would go down into like finding out what is your zone 2, you know, the zone 2 exercise, which is keeping your heart rate at a certain level. So then we will prescribe you to do maybe 150 minutes of zone 2 per week. And then you will also want to put in one interval training once a week. And by interval, we mean that it's like 4 minutes of high intensity, like zone 5, followed by 4 minutes of rest, followed by another 4 minutes of high intensity. And you repeat this cycle for 4 times. So that's your interval training. So by doing this, you would actually increase the VO2 max. Yeah.
Interesting. Now you see both men, women, and others. And one of the things that you talk passionately about is that how a lot of the data out there is based on men. What's the number one thing that women are getting advice on, but is actually more suited towards men? And what should they be doing instead?
Yeah, that's really interesting also, because a lot of the research that was done before, was all the data is based on men. And why that's so is because when the researchers started researching and they had some women on board, although not many, they were finding that the results from the women, they were out of the usual. But of course it would be out of the usual because of women's hormonal cycles. So instead of including it in the study and ruining all the standard patterns, they just decided to eliminate and say, it's an anomaly, so we're not going to accept it. Yeah, so it's quite common for the studies to be done on men. So one thing sticks out, and that would be intermittent fasting. Yeah, so I do advocate intermittent fasting actually. I think it's a great way to get into autophagy, you know, and it's great for longevity. But unfortunately, all the studies, the early studies were done in men. And so therefore, the intermittent fasting that was advocated for those men might not be so suitable for women per se. Especially the very hardcore, they call it warrior intermittent fasting, which is the 20 hours of not eating and then 4 hours of eating window. Yeah. So this one is a little bit too extreme for a woman, because a woman who is on intermittent fasting, the body views it as a stern stress. Yeah. And so there would be an increase in the cortisol, more inflammation. And so a woman has to time the intermittent fasting with her menstrual cycles. That would be more appropriate. And it would be better if a woman actually chooses a more easy form of intermittent fasting. Like, for example, maybe either a 12-12 or a 14-10 or at most 16-8.
Yes.
Yeah. Of course, every woman is different, so it should be individualized.
I tried fasting, it didn't work for me. I was so frustrated.
It's especially difficult during the luteal phase, right, of our cycle.
So now I just eat earlier.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm in Singapore and at home. I try and eat like by 5:36, like my last meal.
Exactly. So you get a longer time.
You get the longer time.
Before you wake up.
And then I would skip breakfast before until I heard Dr. Stacey Sims, and she said your cortisol point, which is like the moment you wake up, women should eat within 1 hour of waking up. Men, like you think about men, right? They wake up, they're ready to go hunt. Right? So,
yes, that's right.
Right? We are doing all the other kind of work. So we need to blunt our cortisol. And then I used to not eat after a workout. Now I eat immediately, like within 45 minutes. You're actually supposed to have some protein
put in some
and carbs.
protein, so that your muscles can rebuild.
Yes, otherwise we're like wasting our muscle.
Yeah, because
away.
for women, when the body thinks you're in a starvation mode, then the menstrual cycle just down-regulates and the thyroid down-regulates. Yeah, so it's not good in general. So that's great. It's more important what a woman eats. So when you choose to eat, it doesn't matter on the timing so much, but at least you're choosing like protein-rich food. Yeah.
Okay, what are examples of protein-rich food?
So protein-rich, we are talking about like eggs, of course, and proteins like the fish and lean meats like lean chicken breast, salmon. All these are good protein food. And then if it's more plant-based, then you look out for like more the beans and more plant-based protein. Yeah. But not so much like red meats or processed meats. Yeah.
Our audience range from early 20s to late 50s, early 60s. And then someone said, okay, I have ate processed food all my life. And now I feel, that my body is not treating me well. I'm pretty menopausal now. And I actually have no idea with all the information out there, what's my first step? What are some things that I feel I'm already very late to the game? So what's the first step that I can do?
Well, nothing too complicated, but I think for a woman, or actually for everyone, but more importantly women, it's quite important to know yourself in the sense of like tracking. So I feel like if you had a health tracker, that would be really useful, because from the health tracker, you can firstly know your menstrual cycles if you key it in correctly, and then it will prompt you as to which part of the cycle you're in. And also it can tell you your heart rate variability, the HRV, which is a very important element to tell you how well you're recovered. And it also tells you, how your parasympathetic nervous system is doing, which is very important. It's the rest phase of our body. Yes.
This is, I heard, like HRVs, and I use the Aura Ring, so I get to see that. It's the first thing I look at every morning. What's my HRV, right? So as I understand it, it tells you how prepared you are to handle the stress of the day.
Yeah.
Is that like layman language for it?
Yes, that's right. Because usually when our body is in stress, which is most of the time, we're in a fight or flight mode. And that is when our sympathetic nervous system is kicking in. But most of us don't know how to kick in the parasympathetic part, which is the rest and the relax and the chill phase. Yes. And that is what gives us a better HRV, which is what you look for in the morning. And if you have a better HRV, it means that your body is well rested.
Yeah. And HRV, like heart rate variability, actually means that your heart rate is not like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
It's like a boom, 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 right? That's the variability you're looking
Yeah,
for,
there
right?
is a variability there.
Right?
Yes, correct. It's a normal variability.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is we want a higher variability because if our body was always in stress or fight or flight,
Yeah.
then the heart rate would be very high always and the variability would be low. Yeah. So, but when we have heart rate which is high sometimes and when we're relaxed, it would be a low heart rate. So that creates a large variability and that's what we want. Yeah. So that's a very key factor to look at. And it also will tell you how well you've slept for that night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So someone that's just starting out today, how would they find out their HRV?
Yes. So you need a tracker for that. Yeah. So it can be through the Apple Watch or like you wear the Aura. I wear the Whoop.
Whoop, no? Yeah, I remember.
Yes.
Yeah, that-
Yes. So that's really useful, I find.
Yeah. For someone for let's say less tech savvy, or for someone who is not who's not that privileged, so because Oura ring, I have to admit, is actually
Yes.
quite expensive. And for someone who is do not have the financial capability to invest in a luxury gadget like this, what is some of the more intuitive or human way to track? Because I have to say, I know a lot of women, but I don't know a single relaxed woman. So it's actually for women to relax is very difficult.
Yeah.
Yes, which is true.
There is no relaxed mother for sure.
Yeah.
So how would you recommend these
Yes.
women to
So
start?
yeah, so actually when we wake up, it's a good thing to keep a journal like what you mentioned where you keep track of how you feel. So that morning when you wake up, you can ask yourself, and then you can give yourself a rating of like, for example, what's my energy level today? Yeah. What's my mood? Yeah, I think mood's important. And also the mental clarity. So you kind of like know where you are and how far you can push yourself for that day, I feel. So energy level and mood is very important. Yeah. So we can track that. And then based on that, if you have a regular cycle, it's easier to track. You will be able to see that the mood and the mental clarity varies with different parts of the cycle because of the different hormone levels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so track your cycle.
Yeah.
And then track how you feel in the morning,
Yes.
your
that's
mood,
right.
your mental clarity.
Yes. Energy
And-
level. And
and
then
energy
you know
level.
how much to push yourself for that day when you're doing exercise or during your busy schedule. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that really requires women to listen to your bodies.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's very important.
Which is,
actually.
I think, might be a foreign idea for a lot of
Yeah.
people
Mm.
to just be still and listen. Like, okay, how am I actually feeling? Is my mind even clear?
Yes.
Right, to be able to do that.
Correct. And then we go into the how do we optimize then? If you feel like, oh yeah, actually I'm having brain fog all the time or I'm having fatigue, then what can I do? Right?
Yeah.
So then that goes into the longevity playbook and what
Yes.
we do and how we can further optimize. You see?
Yeah. So tell us about this playbook.
So it came about because I've been like studying so much. And it seems like longevity is just a buzzword that people use. But what does it really mean and where can one get started? Yeah, so I decided to create this framework. So step one is to know yourself, just like how we were talking about. In this case, we're going to measure our biomarkers because I'm a firm believer in that you cannot improve what you don't measure. Yeah. So by knowing our biomarkers, we are looking at things like food sensitivity, gut microbiome, like the HRV that we talked about. Of course, our hormone levels and nutritional deficiencies. Yeah, even our biological age. So, these days we can actually do a simple cheek swab to find out what is the age of our actual cells in our body as opposed to our chronological age. Yeah, and then we can try to find ways to reverse the biological age. Yeah. And then we have the fitness biomarkers like the VO2 max, grip strength, 1 rep max. So all these biomarkers, we can find out more about ourselves first. And then step 2 is optimizing. So optimize our weight, our body composition. That means we want to decrease fat and increase muscle mass. Yeah. And then we want to optimize nutrition in our diet and fitness. And then we optimize sleep and our gut. So these are the things that we look at as a whole for each person. And from there, we will be able to improve their mood and also their energy levels. Yeah. And then step 3 is the biohack part. So biohacking means we are really going into like doing supplementation. Yeah. And also we are using some science-backed technology that has been proven and shown to help us in this longevity process, such as like hyperbaric oxygen, infrared or red light therapies, electromagnetic fields, and also cold plunge and the infrared saunas. Yeah, so we have all these in our longevity center.
And is it tailored towards women? So for example, the cold plunge.
Yes, that's right. So for men, we know that the temperature like 0 to 4 degrees is great. And then for women, we know that a temperature about 15 degrees would be better.
Yeah, but most cold plunge, at least here in Singapore, is like 12 is the max.
Yeah, so we will have it adjustable.
Oh, you have your own.
Yes, in our center. Yeah,
okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And then we know that by doing the hyperbaric oxygen, it can help to improve the angiogenesis and improve recovery. Yes, that's right. And decrease inflammation. Yeah.
And these are things that this is the last step, the biohack. So
Yes.
after you understand
Yes.
status quo,
Yes.
you
need to optimize.
and then
You biohack. Because
watch out.
if you don't optimize, then there's less effectiveness in doing some biohacking when your diet and your fitness is all out of whack. So I came up with this process that I want to help my patients go through each step and to help them optimize and feel the best that they can feel every day so that they can lead their purposeful lives.
So from your daily work, because it's, for me still, I'm very much in awe to hear. I mean, we know it's you for a while, and I actually didn't know this part of longevity book, you know, the biohacking part that for me, I always associate you as an eye surgeon. So for how can someone, how does the process work for you to get people to be interested in this part? Because people probably see you as the eye surgeon.
Oh, that's true. But already now, I am already helping all my patients do all their biomarkers.
Yeah.
Yes, and then I would go through with them and explain to them. And then I will see which areas they're looking to optimize. And then I would have them follow up with the dietitian or the exercise physiologist. And then we work together as a team to ensure that we're optimizing which area of their life that they want to optimize.
I think like one of the things I find is that, at least for myself, I didn't know the right questions to ask my own GP, right? And I think for women, we tend to maybe depend on partners, etc. And until something is wrong, we don't really pay attention to anything. And we seem to be less equipped to be intentional, like asking good questions. So a woman watching this show right now, what questions should she be asking her doctor if she is midlife?
Well, I think it starts off with what symptoms is she feeling.
If she has no symptoms, let's say, like nothing life-threatening. Okay. But let's say on average, someone midlife in Singapore or someone Asian, whatever they might be going through. So if I take myself as an example, I'm perimenopausal. I did have high cholesterol. It comes and it goes. But then I didn't know, like, I should ask my doctor to check my vitamin D levels.
Yeah, that's right. So as part of the biomarkers, we should definitely check all the nutrition levels, vitamin D, or even vitamin B12, folate, ferritin for the iron. So to be complete, we will want to know all these. And at the same time, we want to know how your gut microbiome is doing. I think that is very important because personally, I felt like for myself, whenever beforehand, when I didn't eat so cleanly or so well, I would get into mood swings, perhaps. There are periods of high, periods of low. And it's also hormonal sometimes.
Yes.
But then when I started having a very clean diet and my microbiome was much improved, then I felt that I no longer had these mood swings. And it really improved my mood and it set me up to feel like I could conquer the world, you know? So I think our microbiome and what we eat really does affect how we feel and our mood and like depression, anxiety. So I think for any woman who's feeling not in the prime of her, like, in terms of mood, can really look to how can I tweak my diet to make it better. And so I think like some easy advice would be to cut out the processed food and lessen on sugary drinks or sugary desserts. And then at the same time, we need to search out fruits and vegetables. Yeah, so we know what is healthy for our gut microbiome is a diversity. So we want to get at least 30 different fruits and vegetables in our diet through the week. Yeah, through 1 week. And that will give us a more diverse microbiome. And then we want to increase some of the fermented foods because fermented foods are great for probiotics. Yeah. So, instead of saying, I can't eat this, maybe we search out certain foods which are high in fiber and high in protein. Yeah.
So medicine has somehow treated women as a smaller man. That's more, there's also the data gap and so on. And you said something actually quite profound when we had the conversation. You said women's health today impact the next generation. It's actually more important for women to be healthy. How do you come to see this connection?
Yeah, that's definitely true. Because you see, women, we have the responsibility of childbearing. So women are the ones who bring up the next generation. And there are many studies that have shown, right, that women who have maternal obesity, it leads to the children, when they grow up in life, they have more problems such as obesity, be it heart disease, even stroke, and even the neurodivergent diseases such as like ADHD and autism. And same goes for the microbiome, because a woman who has maternal obesity has also a different kind of microbiome. So that's why it's so important for women to really be healthy, and then the next generation will be healthier as well. Yeah. And then even if you take one step before that, women who are unhealthy have problems conceiving. So they have fertility issues. A lot of that stems from unhealthy or chronic diseases. Yeah. So women have to go through a lot of IVF treatments just to get conceived because of the fertility issues. So if women could be healthier in general from a younger age, then it would avoid these fertility issues and the long-term effects of the children in the future.
But this is an interesting topic, because I think when I was much younger, I'm generalizing, but majority of us didn't care about our health because nothing to fix right now. There's no life-threatening. You drink, you eat, only much later. I would say maybe in late 20s, early 30s, you started to be aware, to think about it. Maybe when you want to conceive, then you say, oh, maybe you should take care of your microbiome. All this term, I mean, these are all new terms. Now, I didn't understand microbiome back then. So how do you advise? Because I assume from generation to generation, it probably would be the same. My daughter is 2.5 now. To tell her in her teenage, okay, you need to eat healthy, it's probably a waste of energy. So can we actually flip it to when you are 28 or 30, when you are suddenly aware you can't choose your mother's health, for example, you actually didn't know what your mom ate and what is inherited and what is self-caused. Now I'm in my early or mid-30s.
Yeah.
What can I do differently if I'm suddenly now aware?
If you suddenly need to flip.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, one is the diet for sure. I think that's important. But two is also on the fitness aspect, the exercise. I think there are a lot of misconceptions that women have about exercise. Yeah. And one is that they think that women shouldn't lift heavy weights, for example. Yeah. But we are learning now that actually resistance training is one of the most key important benefits for longevity. Yeah, because what we need is muscle mass. As we get older, we start to lose muscle. That's called sarcopenia. Yeah, it's a normal physiological decline with age. But if we can build more muscle mass, then we would have, it bodes well for longevity. Yeah, so I think women should start to work in resistance training early on in life so that their muscles don't get wasted. It also helps to improve the bone density as well. Yeah, so in the past, women used to use very light weights because they don't want to bulk up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they'll do frequent, many repetitions. But actually that is counterproductive because the repetitions lead to inflammation of the joints. And then that could lead to like wear and tear and like osteoarthritis, right? So you don't need that. You just need a higher weight, meaning heavier, and less repetition. So we just want to keep the reps between 8 to 12.
Yep.
Yeah, and we want to increase the weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so things like that. And then it used to be thought that cardio is king. That means let's just keep running
Yes.
to lose weight.
Yes.
But no, women will find that if they do that, all the stress of the cardio, if it's done overly too much, it actually leads to higher inflammation as well on the body. And so the body thinks that, oh, you are going to run a marathon every day, so I'm going to start storing and store fat. And that's why a woman feels like she's getting fatter even though she's running a lot. Yeah, so it's all these maybe misconceptions that we need to change. And although every woman is different, every body is different, but we can individualize and customize exercise and nutrition for each woman. Yeah, and it should be started early on.
Yeah. So true.
There are other aspects of longevity, of course, that we see in the Japanese.
Yeah.
And that is one of that is the social that they have, the social connectedness.
Yes.
So it's really this mindfulness that comes in already. So they have a belonging, a group, a community. So they're in general very happy people. I think that's an important aspect of longevity also.
Yeah.
So isolation is not going to help also. So I think longevity has that 5 pillars and that we just have to make sure that we cover a little bit for each of the 5 pillars. Yeah.
What are the 5 pillars again?
Yeah, so it's the exercise, which is the movement part.
Yeah.
Then nutrition, so it's
Yeah.
diet. And then we have the sleep. Sleep is important. Of the 5, sleep is actually the most important. Yeah. And then we have the social connectedness. And lastly, the mindfulness, which means like things like meditation and being in a non-stress situation. Yeah. So if we do more yoga and meditation, we actually train our mind to get into a different, more relaxed brainwave form. Yeah, and that is actually very useful for longevity as well.
Yeah. I was talking to my doctor recently and she was looking at my sleep scores and she said, look, mindfulness is not this woo-woo thing.
It's not.
And
It's for real.
and looks like you can benefit from it because what's happening is that when the sun goes down, right, your circadian rhythm and your melatonin starts to come. The drop is so high depending on the day, right? My drop is so high to go down to that level. So it takes a much longer time. And then if I'm still on the screen, right, after dinner, it's not going to go down, right?
Yeah.
So this is such a big drop. So you got to make your drop lower. And she said the number one thing is to practice mindfulness throughout the day. Just take 5, 10, 15 minutes, just do nothing and just breathe.
Yeah, breath work. Yeah,
Yeah.
that helps too. Because when we expire, take long, deep breaths out, we actually slow our heart rate down. So that all ties in with increasing our HRV as well. Yeah. And then it's really important in order to have good sleep also to cut out using of the digital devices like you mentioned, like at least 1 or 2 hours before if you can, but nobody does.
Yeah.
And then the other very important key is the food, which you already do very well, which is to not take, your last meal has got to be more than 3 hours before you sleep. If not, you will notice if you wear a tracker that when you're sleeping and you had a very late meal, your sleep is not restful and your heart rate is like you're doing a marathon while you're sleeping because you're actually digesting all the food that you had just eaten. So it's better if you want to get real restful sleep with a low heart rate, then the meal has got to be more than 3 hours away.
Yeah.
It's like-
And I think it's also the food, right? Because I think some foods will fill and some foods won't. So you need the combination.
Yeah,
Like
the
if you're
type-
taking food with fiber, it will fill you up because it expands,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I think what's on your plate also matters because sometimes I will eat randomly and then I will get hungry and then I'm on a food delivery app ordering things I shouldn't be ordering.
But if you eat protein-rich food,
Yes.
then
Yeah.
you get full and you stay full and there are no cravings.
Yeah.
yeah.
But if you eat something sugary,
Yeah.
then you crave the sugar very
Yeah.
soon after. That's because the glucose level in your blood dips.
Yeah.
After the high, it dips slow.
Dips, yeah.
And then that Low dip is the cravings. Yeah.
What's your take on wine? As a wine collector who wants to drink the rest of her life, and every piece of advice out there is
Not to.
Perimenopause onwards, stop drinking. I'm like, okay, I am willing to work harder in all the other dimensions.
Compensate.
So I can keep drinking.
Yes.
And the only thing that I have figured out for myself is similar to meals, is to just drink earlier.
Yeah, so alcohol, that's a difficult one because all the evidence out there does suggest that alcohol really is a risk factor for cancers and diseases. So we know that already, that it is a toxic substance. But then yet we still enjoy it, right? And then we... And there are other plus factors. For example, if we do it socially, and then you have a boost of oxytocin, but that's just from being connected. So that's important too for longevity. So I think where I come from is like a 80-20 principle. We don't want to be so rigid as well. I mean, we do whatever gives us the most impact. Yes. And we have to make sure that the whole process of longevity is sustainable and enjoyable. So it's just where we're going to limit our risks. So if you have to take some alcohol, I would say yes, we can. But usually they advocate it's supposed to be 1 unit, which is like less than a glass a day. And because alcohol really disrupts the sleep pattern. So I think it's important to get the alcohol in earlier part of the day. And then so that it doesn't disrupt the sleep so much.
You should just drink at lunchtime.
Exactly. I was just about to say.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Tell us a little bit more about hormones, because I think women don't pay attention to our hormones, and especially if you're a woman in a workplace and you watch how men operate, and their cycle is every 24 hours renewed, right? Ours is 28 to 42 days, depending on your individual cycle, and hormones has a big part to play on everything, what we eat, how we sleep. I'm especially noticing it now as I go through perimenopause, and I just started HRT as well.
So for the hormones, it's about the cycles because it's different at each part of the cycle. And then it gets a little bit very irregular during the perimenopausal stage. So the cycles, firstly, we have to know which part is the follicular phase and which is the luteal phase. And we have to be aware that during the follicular phase, we'll be more energetic and you'll really feel like, I can do my training very well, or I can have a lot of energy to carry out the day. But then comes after the ovulation, and then it's the luteal phase. During that phase, the body is more fatigued and tired just because the hormone levels are super high at the time. It's trying to build the uterine lining for the next possible child. That's why. And so at that time, I think it's important to just be kind to yourself and just say, today I don't feel up to doing so much exercise or pushing myself. So then maybe I'll just do something that is a little bit more easy to do and relaxing. I think that's okay.
And I think that's super hard for women in general. Right?
That's true.
First, listening to your body, because I think it's always talking to you and sending you signals, and then two, doing something about it. I remember there was one time I was overseas, and it was nowhere near my, close to day 1 of my cycle. And suddenly I had this craving for ice cream, so I kept going to the freezer to take ice cream out to eat. And actually I got my cycle 2 days later. So it just came earlier. So your body is actually always sending you signals. I'm like, it wants ice cream, I shall give it ice cream.
That's right. It was telling you when to refuel. Exactly. I feel that too. And then comes the perimenopausal part, and where women start getting symptoms. So I think we have to listen to that. And then if you feel, something is off of whack, then you can go to see the doctor, get your hormones checked out. And I think initially we try not to do the hormone replacement yet. The first part of the intervention is we try to improve the diet and exercise and sleep. Just by that alone, you'll find that the symptoms will already be much improved.
But the interesting thing in this, because the 3 elements what you mentioned, it's a complete habit and lifestyle change. So I think for majority, it's actually much more difficult to to make the shift versus okay, let's do the HRT or let's
just take a pill.
let's just have the quick fix.
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
People think that way. But in my studies of doing lifestyle medicine, right, I've actually learned that all these chronic diseases that we talk about or we hear about, and everybody is just popping a pill to treat it.
Yeah.
Actually, changing the lifestyle is more effective.
Yes.
They've done studies to show that it's more effective than using those medications.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we just have to, I feel that changing the lifestyle is the most important choice, I think. And it shouldn't have to be something that's painful, because after a while, you can learn to enjoy this healthy lifestyle, so to speak. Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So women over 35, what's the one truth you wish more women believed?
I think over 35 people or women think that their bodies are breaking down, or like, oh, there's something wrong with me, right? Yeah, but actually I want women to believe more that it's not breaking down, it's just recalibrating. Yeah. So to be able to embrace that and to know that, hey, look, I'm recalibrating, so let's listen to myself, my body, let's change my lifestyle in a way that makes me happy also. And, going through all the optimization can really make a woman flourish, and a woman can feel stronger and fitter than ever before, Yeah, fitter at 40 than at 20.
I do feel much stronger than I was at 20. Yeah. Although I was much tinier at 20.
A woman is so much more in her prime in her 40s, 50s than when she was in her 20s.
Which is the opposite when we saw our parents at that age, right?
Yeah.
Because we grew up watching
them get older.
When they hit that age, it's like, oh, you're just
over.
It's like, side of the room,
Yeah, but it's no longer this way, and I wish more people would be able to believe that.
I think it's like a whole new life ahead of you.
Yeah, and there's so many biohacking tools that can help us these days that is all science-backed. So if only more people would choose to be more open to it and believe in it and try it out, then they can see the difference.
Is there any place that they can go to get themselves started, to educate themselves? Where would you point them to?
Oh, it would be my longevity.
Yes, and what's that? Where's that?
Oh, Asia Longevity. Yes, we've opened a new clinic in Paragon. Yeah.
Oh, is it the one I went to?
The one you went to is my eye clinic. It's on the 15th floor.
Yes.
So the longevity center is on the 13th floar.
Oh, okay. So you literally
yes.
by 2 floors.
Okay.
So we have all of the biohacking tools that I mentioned in it, as well as inbuilt gym, so that people can come in and do the exercise as well.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you.
So coming to the end of the podcast.
Yes.
So if every woman listening now and saying, okay, after this one, longevity is gonna be a term for me. And if everyone actually follows to a certain extent what you shared, what kind of ripple effect would that create?
Oh wow, yeah. I think that the ripple effect would be quite great on two aspects. One is just firstly the biological reprogramming, so to speak, because as epigenetics, which means that the genetic makeup that we have, it really is not set in stone. That means who we are and what diseases we have. We really depends on the environment and our lifestyle. So, and these epigenetics that we develop, we can pass on to the next generations. So the next generations will be healthier. So that is like a form of reprogramming of our biology.
Yeah.
So that's one aspect. And then the second aspect is about the behavioral modification, because if a woman is healthy and in doing all her lifestyle changes, her children will watch and will see, and they will take on those habits as well. So it will create a society in which women, because they're healthier, they're more fertile, less fertility issues, and then they are also able to have better mood, and they perform better at work or in the family. And women are already naturally good multitaskers, but they're even better now.
Yeah.
And then it will give women so much more confidence to just pursue the dreams that they want to achieve, and they will be inspiring for the next generation to do the same, to reach for their dreams. So I think it will be a great ripple effect for women to do that. Yeah.
Beautifully said.
Thank you, Claudine. It was so great to have you and just speak openly about anything and everything. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.